I am baking. I'm baking today. I'm going to start off with baking some scones or scones, however you may say it, and I'm going to bake some sausage rolls because today I'm off to see my dad. I haven't seen my dad for a little while. So my son and I are going there after school today, and I thought I would take him some scones, and I thought I would take him the sausage roll that I make that he absolutely loves. So while I do that, I thought I would show you what I'm going to be making along the way. I've already made myself a cup of tea, a nice peppermint tea, because it's a little bit chilly. I've preheated the oven to 180, I think it was. I got this recipe from Cupcake Gemma, so I will link the video that I got the recipe from in the description box below if you want to make it yourself as well. So the first thing I need to do, that I've already weighed out, I've weighed everything out, I'm prepared today. 425 grams of plain flour, and then it says I need to get 5 teaspoons of baking powder, and then I need 50 grams of caster sugar, and then it says a good pinch of salt. And then I'm just going to give that a good mix, just mixing that round there. So just so you can see, I am doing it, I am. So this is going to make, I think this makes about 12 scones, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so once you've done that, you then need 125 grams of cold butter. So butter straight from the fridge. Don't leave it out to room temperature. It needs to be cold. And then cut it up into little cubes. And then you pop that into the flour there. Now this is where it gets messy. If you've got a food processor, you can do it with a food processor and blitz it and pulp it until it goes into fine breadcrumbs. However, I can't bother to get mine out and clean it and everything else, and it'd be quicker just to do it this way. So it's the rubbing technique where you just rub the butter and the flour together. So let me quickly just do all of this and then I'll come straight back to you. It's all done and it's looking really good. There's still a few little clumps of butter in there. I don't want too many, but just a few. So I've got those there. I've been making this for about 2 or 3 years now. So I made it all in 2020 because my gran, if she was still alive, would have been 100 years old in 2020. So I made an afternoon tea thing for my mum, and then I just dropped some off at my auntie's, left it on the doorstep for her, and I did the same for my dad, and everybody loved it. So I've been doing it ever since then. So now you need 250 millilitres of whole milk, and you also need 1 egg, and you're going to crack the egg into the milk, and then you're just going to give it a really good whisk around there. And then what you're going to do, once this is all whisked up, you're going to then pour this into the flour mix, the breadcrumb mix. You're going to make a little well in the middle, and then you're going to pour this into the middle of the well. So I'm going to turn the camera down a little bit, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I know it's not a very good angle, but I'm struggling with the camera and I'm getting stressed out with it. So I've got my bowl here, and then I'm just in the middle going to pour this egg and milk mix in. I think that might be, I'll just chuck it all in, we'll figure it out after. Okay, and then with you can do it with a fork, or you can do it with a metal spoon or anything. I'm just going to fold it in. Now you are going to have to get your hands in, which is going to get real messy, but you just going to fold all this in like so. I'm actually just going to fold with a wooden spoon, fold it in and see if I can get it all to clump together a little bit more before I have to get my hands in. I think I'm at that point now. So with another spoon, I'm just going to take all this off, and then you are going to have to get your hands dirty. So if you're someone that doesn't like doing that, maybe this isn't the best recipe for you to do. Now you're just going to bring it all together. You don't want to overwork it, but what I would say beforehand is make sure you put some flour down on the side here, because that's going to really help. Otherwise it's just too messy. And then you are going to tip it out onto your workspace just like that. Okay, and then I just fold it over with the flour, and it just gets it all to like not be so sticky. So as you can see, it can get quite messy doing this. I just want to knead it there. Okay, I'm just going to push the flour because it's a bit too much flour now. Okay, I don't want to overwork it, so I think I'm pretty much done. So I'm going to clean off my hands and then I'm going to get the rest done. Nice clean hands now. So I've rolled this, I haven't rolled it out, I've just put it in a dough, but I've got my trusty rolling pin here. I'm just going to get some extra flour and just wipe it onto the rolling pin. And I'm going to roll this out so it's about 1 inch thick. Now I just like to flip it sometimes just to make sure it's not going to stick onto the side. I think that's nicely done. Maybe they're a little bit too thick, but maybe I just want some thick scones. So then I've got a cookie cutter here. So I'm going to use the crinkle edge side. I'm just going to dip it in the flour and make sure that it's all covered there. And then I'm just going to cut out as many as I can. Okay, so I've got my lined baking tray just here. I'm going to cut out as many of these as I can. There's going to be way too many for my dad, but my mum will have some. She'll freeze some. And then I'm going to go and see if the neighbours want any as well. So they can all have some nice scones and afternoon tea for Christmas. Get one more on here. I've only got little baking trays, unfortunately, but I do have another tray. Another tray here, so I'm going to keep going. And then what you do once you've finished cutting all of it out, you can push this back together again, but not overwork it. Roll it out again, and then you can do it all over again. So I've just finished doing all of that. So I cut out 20 scones in the end with just that one batch. I'm just cracking another egg, which I've completely made a right mess up of, but never mind. The reason I've got another egg, which I'm just whisking now, then I've got to find my pastry brush, is I'm just going to put a little bit of an egg wash over each of the scones that I've done, and I'm just going to put them in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes, and then they should be done. They should be nice and golden brown on the top. That's what I'm looking for. So these are 6 of my scones. So I'm just going to get the egg wash now, and I'm just going to lightly wash over each one of them. I've only got 2 baking trays, so I've got 6 on each, so I'm going to have to do this in 2 different parts, but I need to wash up. And then I'm going to be making some sausage rolls for my dad, because he absolutely loves the sausage rolls that I make. And I will come back to you when I do that and when the scones are completely done. Here are my lovely scones. They're not perfect, but they look lovely anyway. So I've made 20 of them all together. I'm going to give 6 to my dad. My mum will have some, we'll freeze some, and then I'll give some to the neighbours as well. Now let's get on with the sausage rolls. So I've got some sausage meat already in the bowl here. So rather than actually buy sausage meat, I just bought a packet of Asda Essential sausages, defrosted them overnight, took all the skins off, and then I've got sausage meat, and it worked out cheaper. So that's how I did that. So I just mushed all that together, and then I've got some red onion. I've got half a red onion here, which I'm going to mix in with the sausage meat here. You just need to soften that down a little bit. So it's not raw. Who wants to eat raw red onion in a sausage roll? Not me. I definitely don't want to do it. Then you need a teaspoon of sage. So I'm just going to guess it because all my teaspoons are in the washing up. So that will do. Okay. And then you need a teaspoon of Worcester sauce. Now I can never pronounce it, and I'm English. Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce? Worcestershire sauce. I'm not sure how to say it, so I'm just going to call it Worcester sauce. That's what I'm going to call it. I need about a teaspoon of that, so I'm going to give a good helping of that. And that's pretty much the sausage meat done. So all you need to do now is just mix all of that together and make sure everything's incorporated lovely. And then you need to get your pastry. Now, if you are a very, very good baker or very, very good cook and you have loads of time, you can make your own pastry. I, however, can't be bothered. So I am going to get some puff pastry. Now, this recipe is not my own. This recipe is from somebody called Katie Picks. It was a recipe she put on like 5 years ago. And I tried it back in 2020, like I said, with the scones, and it worked amazingly. So I will link her video down in the description box below, but you can also get all her details on her blog as well, if you want to do it that way. So I'm just going to put this to one side and I'm going to get the puff pastry out. So again, not a very good angle, but I'm hoping that you can roughly see kind of what I'm doing here. So I've got my puff pastry, so I'm just going to roll it out a little bit more, not too much, because otherwise it'll be too thin, but I just want to roll it out just a little bit more here. Okay, and now what her secret ingredient is, which is genius, it's genius, is she uses Parma ham. So I got this Serenaro ham from Aldi because it was so much cheaper than the Parma ham in Asda. It was like £3.50 in Asda. This is £1.99 in Aldi. So what you're going to do now is pick up some of the ham and you just pop it on the end, on the edge. So you're going to layer it all across the edge here. I've got the dog by my feet looking at me like I smell food. And you can keep smelling. So I'm going to put all that on there. I think one more, maybe two if I'm lucky. So let's see how many more I can get, because it's quite big ham. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll get one more on there now. There we go. So that's all you do with that. Is we're going to get our sausage meat back and we're going to form a sausage with our sausage meat. Now my onion is quite thick because I'm not very good at cutting onion. So you just want to form it into a sausage shape. I always do it in bits because I can never get it right. So I say I'm not the best cook, I just enjoy it, and that's all that matters. So as you can see, I'm going to pull it down and going all the way across the edge. You need to go right up to the edge. So, and you want to go right the way across with it as well. So I'm going to just squish all this in. There, I've got a little bit more. I'm going to just put the end there because that doesn't look very thick there. Just going to squash it all down and make it into a sausage shape. That's it. Oh, now I took too much that side. So let me just get on with this and fix this. So there, so as you can see, so I've got the Parma ham with the long sausage on the top there. So the cheese is the next part that you're going to do. I forgot to say that you add salt into this as well. So I added a little bit of salt into this. So you're just going to sprinkle the cheese. So this is about 50 grams of cheese, I think, all the way across the sausage meat. And also just at the bottom of the Parma ham there as well. So now here comes the tricky part where you've got to roll it. So we'll start here. You want to make sure as well that you've got some egg wash to the side because you're going to need it. And you're just going to roll. Oh, is it going to work? Yeah, it worked! All the way over like this, okay? Then, as you can see, I'm going to turn it round for you. As you can see, we've got it up to the ham there. So just go and roll it a bit more. Now, to seal it, I'm just using the egg wash that I used for the scones. And you're going to just seal, you're going to put loads of egg wash just down here like this, look. There we go. And then you just roll it over so it all seals together. And that is how you make the base of the sausage roll. So what I need to do now is that is probably ready to cook. However, to make sure that it all firms up, you put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. So I'm just going to roll it back up into the paper that the puff pastry came in. So I've got my sausage roll now, and I'm going to put that in the fridge for 30 minutes to set. And by that time, the scones will be finished. I'll have the oven free to make that. And while I'm doing that, I've got to clean everything up. I'll come back to you when I'm ready to finish off with the sausage roll. Okay, so I've got the sausage roll out of the fridge. It's been in there for about 30 minutes, so it should be nice and firm now. And now all we have to do, okay, get a nice sharp knife and we're going to cut it up into 8 or 10 pieces. So as you can see, we've got it all nicely done here, and I'm just going to cut it up here. So we've got 1, 2. The first time I did this, they were absolutely huge because you've got to remember this is puff pastry, so it's obviously going to expand in the oven, but I didn't realise that and they turned out massive. So I cut big chunks So now I just cut really smaller chunks because they do come out quite large. But this is an amazing recipe. Again, it's not my recipe. It's from Katie Picks. I will put the video of her sausage rolls recipe and her making it on YouTube in the link in the description box below, so you can go for yourself and watch it. So there we go. There's the last one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sausage rolls there. Puts a hole in the centre of each one just to let some air out. Say, I'm no cook. I wish I was. So there we go. So we just get some more of our trusty egg wash, and we're just going to put egg wash on each one of these. And then we put it in the oven. Again, I've got gas, so I'm not sure. I haven't got gas. I've got a gas oven, so I put it on gas mark number 5. I don't know what that is in anything else. If you do know, do write it in the comments for everybody else, because I can't bother to look, to be honest. And there we go. And now we just got to put them on a baking tray and put them in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes till they're nice and golden brown. And I'll show you the end result. Look how good these sausage rolls turned out. I am so chuffed with these. My next bake is I'm actually going to make a fruit cake. Now this is a healthier fruit cake and a really easy one as well. You have to leave it overnight to set, but other than that it doesn't take long at all, and it's literally 3 ingredients and that's it. So simple. I'm only doing half the recipe. A few years ago, I did the big recipe, I did the full recipe, and it fed an army. It was so big, and we don't need that. So I'm literally half the recipe. I can't remember where I got this from. When I was decluttering my room the other week, I found a notebook with loads of different recipes in, and I found this one, and I forgot all about it. So I thought I would make it again. And all you need is some mixed fruit. So I've got 500 grams of mixed fruit. So obviously, if you're doing a full recipe, it would be 1,000 grams of mixed fruit. I've got 250 millilitres of cranberry juice. Otherwise, it would be 500 millilitres of cranberry juice. And I've got 120 grams of self-raising flour. And if you were doing the full recipe, it would be 240 grams of self-raising flour. So it's up to you what you want to do. And then I'm also going to be using 1 tablespoon of mixed spice. So that is what I'm going to be, and that's it. That's all you have to do. And the best thing about this, it's literally a dump it all in and leave it in the fridge. So I'm doing this quite late in the evening. Well, it's not late in the evening at all, really. I'm doing it at 4 o'clock. I'm doing this at 4 o'clock because I've got to take my son to martial arts. And I'm going to leave it overnight, and it's the first thing I'm going to bake in the morning. So you just dump in your mixed fruit and then just unclump it, because I always feel like some mixed fruit can get quite clumpy. So you just dump it all in, unclump all the mixed fruit. Obviously, if you don't like fruitcake, don't do this recipe. It's really simple. It's really simple. And then you are going to add 1 tablespoon of mixed spice. I'm just going to sprinkle that all over. And the next thing is you get your self-raising flour and you just dump that in. Okay, and then what you're going to do, you're just going to mix all of that in. So you're covering the entire mixed fruit in with the mixed spice and the flour. You're covering it all over. So when you're done, it looks a bit like that, see? So, and then is you're going to get your cranberry juice and you're just going to pour that in. And that's it. And then you're just going to give that another stir. And it's turned a really nice pink. It's turned really pink. So you're stirring it all in so that everything is covered. And then you just put some cling film or some wrap or foil or anything else over it. And you're just going to leave it to sit in the fridge overnight. And that's all you're going to do. So that is part 1 of the fruit cake. And what I'm going to do is tomorrow morning, when I've dropped my son off at school, I will show you the second part of what you've got to do. So it'll look like that. Not very appealing, is it? Not very appealing at all. But trust me, when it comes out, It's delicious. So that's part one. Now I'll show you part two. It's the next day and my fruitcake has been resting overnight. Sorry if you can hear a little bit of noise in the background. Our next door neighbours are having a drive put in, so we've got diggers and all sorts going on. But with only a few days left till Christmas, I need to get this done. But overnight, the fruitcake has really thickened up. I mean, look at that. So what we have to do now is we have to line a baking tray or a cake tin or whatever you want to do, and you pop it in there and then just pop it in the oven. However, I have done this before and the fruitcake slices are just too big for me. I wouldn't eat it and I was wasting it. So this time I'm doing something different. I've got my trusted silicone cupcake cases here, and I'm going to separate the mix into each one, and I'm going to bake it in the oven that way. And in that way, I just have one little bit rather than have huge slices, because my son doesn't like it. I'm the only one that likes it. So I feel like rather than waste an entire cake, I'm just going to do it this way instead. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to, it won't mix, it's so thick. It's such a thick batter. I think I just need to scoop it. Scoop it and then pop it in a silicone case and then pop it in the oven. It should go in the oven for 90 minutes on low heat. However, because I've only done half the batch, I'm going to put it on for 45 minutes and then just test it from there. So you'll know when it's cooked when you stick a skewer in the middle and it comes out clean. You'll know that the fruitcake is cooked. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you what it's like when it's all in the cases. So they are now all in their cases, as you can see. I have made 21 altogether, so that's not too bad. So 21 cupcake cases full of the fruitcake. That's now going to go in the oven. They usually go in the oven for 90 minutes if you do the full recipe. However, as I've only done half a recipe, I'm going to try it for 45 to 60 minutes, and then I'm going to see if it's done after that. So I will come back to you when I've got baked fruitcake. And here they are. These are my fruit cake bites, as you can see here. I burnt them a little bit on the top because I've been so much baking, I just lost track of time. Rather than have one big fruit cake, I've just got the little fruit cake bites here, which are going to be so much easier. But when does fruit cake ever look pretty? Before it's decorated. It doesn't, does it? I won't be putting marzipan or icing on these. These are just going to be nice little fruit bites to have. Maybe put some icing sugar on or something to make them all pretty. But yeah, that's my really simple and easy fruit cake recipe. I've also done the scones and the sausage rolls today as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. All my recipes are going to be on my Facebook group, Solo Mum to One. There's a link in the description box below. So if you want to go and join the group, I'll add in all the recipes. But I will also link in the description box the cupcake gemma scone recipe and the Katie Pick sausage roll recipe if you want to give that a go as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sticking with me while I do a little bit of Christmas baking. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do try any of the recipes, do let me know. I'd love to know if you tried them and what you thought of them as well. I've already had feedback from my dad about the sausage rolls and he said they were amazing. When can I make some more? So I'll be making some more of those for him soon. So that's today's video, guys. There will be another video where I'll be doing all my banana baking. So if you want to know kind of what I do with my baking when it comes to bananas, because you know I love a banana, then that video is actually going to come up tomorrow. If you want to join the Facebook group, do check out the link in the description box below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you're not new here but are yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. I hope whenever you're watching this, you are having a good morning, good day or a good evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys!